Welcome to Charting Cryptos, Commodities, and Currencies. Let's jump first, as we always do, into Bitcoin to start things off. What do we see with Bitcoin on the 24-hour-a-day chart? Well, last week we saw it reach a high of 52,884. This week, 53,015. So we have reached a bit of a higher high. We can see where the volume is as we close on Wednesday, and we are not we're not halfway there. We saw we had average volume the last 3 weeks, above average volume, when things had moved down and then turned around. As we look at the 2-day chart, we can see where things are sliding sideways and that candle's getting weaker. We look at the 195-minute chart, we see where yesterday evening, Tuesday evening, things really started hammering down on into Wednesday morning. And then as we got into the afternoon, turned into a doji. And then as we move into the evening, things trying to claw their way back up. We'll keep our eye on things on Bitcoin. Again, this topping here on the 2-day may simply mean digesting those gains, gets ready to move up again. But with that turnaround, with higher than average volume, and that little bit of move on top, most of the move on the bottom on that red candle, and then the turnaround with average volume building, that's good to see. It's easy to read. Bitcoin's not always that way, and it has started to get that way, which is what we have been holding out and waiting for. Why? Because we want charts that are trackable. What do we see as we look at Ethereum? Oh, by the way, Bitcoin right now down 1.62%. Now, Ethereum down 2.85%. Of course, this week it has reached a higher high. We look at the 2-day chart, just cranking it. Now, as we look at what has happened here on the 195-minute chart over the last day or so, we saw where things were topping out on Tuesday, and then in the evening on Tuesday, a doji down and didn't recover for the day. But again, we look at these bigger charts, Ethereum continuing to move up to higher highs. So we'll keep an eye, see how it continues to go. Now, this is the Bitwise Top 10 Crypto Index Fund. This is a fund, ETF that tracks what? Well, it tracks the top 10 top 10 cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin being the big dog because it's weighted as per market share. And of course, it is Bitcoin that carries the majority of that market share. It is down 5.19% for the day. You can see where it was up on Tuesday, started off weak on Wednesday, and then down in the afternoon. Now, it is still above the weekly trend line on both the 2-day and the half-day. And as we look at how things have moved this week, we've hit a higher high. The high this week so far, 25.30. Last week, 24.37. So again, we will keep an eye on things. Price is above on the 2-day and the half-day, that weekly trend line. But a big down day. Nothing like we saw here back on the week, January the 16th, where literally, as you look at this, and we can hone into Friday, excuse me, the 12th, and then Wednesday, so that was the Friday, starting the 2-day candle there. And then on Wednesday, Thursday, we saw where Bitwise jacked down considerably. I mean, hammering down hard. Literally, the week before, the high was 26.20. That week, the low was 14.15. And it's come from that low of 14.50 again over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4, going into the 5th week after that crazy low to a high of 25.30. So again, lots of volatility there. Now, let's move on from cryptocurrencies to commodities. We'll go through a few of those. Look at corn. Again, feedstock, people eat it, used in all sorts of things, from corn syrup to corn meal to gasoline. Remember, we make alcohol and we put it in gas. It's called ethanol in the States. It just continues to trundle down further and further. Down for the day alone, 1.64%. Check out silver. Now, it was down 0.5%, a little more than that for the day. But boy, it peaked up. Now, we saw a spinning top back on the week beginning 29th of January. Then that died. Then we had another spinning top on last week, starting the 12th of February. And then this week, again, trying to move up. Like I said, it's been down these 2 days as we've started the week, but our average pace on our Heikin Ashi candlesticks still has it in the green. And of course, what we see there is where that average pace is. It's not weakened significantly after these 2 days of that strong up movement. It's only really pulled back, not even to one of those days. So we'll just keep an eye on silver, see if it's going to grow as the week continues through. Not a lot of volume there. Decent volume last week with that spinning top, trying to figure out which way price is going to go. So we will keep an eye on silver. It'd be nice for it to turn around. We'll also be watching what gold does. Now let's look at soybeans again. Soybeans down for the day alone, 1.51%. With soybeans, since they hit their most recent high back in the end of November, they have just been continuing to move down. That tells you something about the world market, the ability of folks to either purchase food or slowing down in the world economy and not needing it because maybe people aren't buying the things that it helps produce. Meat, food, those other types of things. Let's look at where we are with natural gas. As we look at nat gas, now this is crazy to me. I'm looking at my chart. It says it's up for the day 12.53%. You can see on this half-day chart where nat gas was just hardly, the candles are just tiny. We got a few anomalies in there where bigger, but boy, up in the morning and about the same top point in the afternoon, but 12.53%. And this first day of this latest 2-day candle, now, as we look at the volume, we don't have average volume yet, but it's only the first day of the latest 2-day candle. Let's keep an eye on nat gas and see where that ends up going. Now, what about oil itself? This is the United States Oil Fund. We saw where it bottomed out there in early January the 8th, second week of the month. Slid sideways that next week, bounded up the following week, beginning the 22nd of January, then sort of, again, some indecision. Last week moving up, for the day alone up 1.08%. But again, not just killing it, but again, looks like it's trying to get on its feet and move. So we will keep an eye on oil. Now, let's now go to currencies, world currencies, and we'll start with the British pound after trying to move down. And of course, we had lots of volume and indecision there starting the week on the 29th of January, followed by the 5th of February with a big down move, slowing last week beginning the 12th of February. And then this week, we see the British pound trying to move up. So again, nothing to really follow there yet after some of these spinning tops and small green candles. Again, maybe it's going to start moving up again, or is it just going to pull another one of these where after a green candle you get a red candle? We don't know. We're not trusting that. We'll wait, we'll watch, we'll see. Now, the euro, different. It's been going down for several weeks, and then all of a sudden it pops up this week with a green up candle. Not a lot of volume at all to back that up. In fact, the most volume we've seen lately goes all the way back to the 22nd of January, and that doesn't give us a bottom or a top. So again, not a lot to be able to read into the British pound, but the fact that the euro, but the fact that it and the British pound are both trying to move up, we will pay attention to. Now, the yen, nothing like that's happening with the yen. We see the yen again just sort of bounding around this bottom that it's been bounding around for a while, going all the way back to several days to the beginning of last week when things pushed over, heading down. You can see it here on the candle beginning the 12th of February. Did have average volume then, volume okay this week, but we'll keep an eye on the yen, see if it indeed starts to turn around like the pound and like the euro. But we so appreciate you being with us. We always love to hear from you. Hope you enjoy when we break down commodities, cryptos, and currencies. It's always fun to see what's going on around the world, what markets are doing well, what some real commodities out there are doing. It gives you sort of a better feel around the world for what's going on with world currencies, with cryptos, with commodities. And I hope that helps you understand the interplay of those things in the stocks and ETFs that you practice trade. Always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.